in this important topic, turning 5G 6G ideas into protected innovation. India have been doing the innovations, however, have not been the part of this license ecosystem or much to say in the global IPRs in telecom technology. Keeping that in view, today we have invited Sri Gopal Kumar ji, who is ADG from the India Patent Office. So this is the best opportunity for us to get our doubts clear, and sir will be explaining the various steps, problem being faced by the startups, academia, or what are the various precautions one has to take while filing patents and other such documents to the different authorities. So Mr. Gopal Kumar is already having the knowledge of patenting, so he will be the best person to explain this. With this, I invite our Professor David Coyle Pillai, sir, to say before we hand over it to Mr. Gopal Kumar.
Thank you, Mr. Pathak, and good morning, everyone. A special word of welcome to Sri Gopal Kumar. Thank you, sir, for accepting our request to give us a presentation on turning 5G 6G ideas into protected innovation. So, from the Bharat 6G Alliance, we are very happy to host this talk because we see that the intellectual property rights is an important area while we are pushing forward on various technology fronts and building up the 6G ecosystem. We feel that the intellectual property will also be an integral part and very important since we have a large number of members of our ecosystem. We thought that it would be most fitting that we have an expert in the area of intellectual property to speak to us, to share with us what is the current scenarios, what are some of the benefits, how do we take the initial steps, and also how do we work together to ensure that we have a strong place in the 6G ecosystem, in the global 6G ecosystem. So with that, a few words of background and the context in which we have planned this conversation, let me hand it over to Sri Gopal Kumar and request his expert views and comments. We look forward to hearing you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have given you the presenter right, so you can control your slides. Back to you.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. I would like to thank Fatak sir and Brajesh sir for inviting me to put my view before you. Uh, Thank you. And I'd like to start to put before just give me a second. This one. Since it's a patent filing system, this is a start from the idea. When we talk about the patent, so it's not really something that came up into the lab. It's really a start with the idea go through the drafting, and when you go through the drafting, then it's a filing, then a prosecution, and after the prosecution, if the office find it suitable, then is proceed for the grant. And after the granting, if the applicant believes that they have the potential, the applications have the potential, then it goes for the further licensing and other commercial part. SEP is one of them. after that. So initially, sorry, this one start with the idea of the the technology. Means whenever you have the idea, means is propagated the idea, and then you start filing each and everything accordingly. So I would like to go through the next one. This is the patent filing system, patent filing ecosystem in all across the globe, including the Indian Patent Office as well. There are multiple content that I have put in the slides. That is innovation landscape, types of patent, uh, PCT filings, Indian patent process, forms and fees, opposition. There are few amendments in 2024 and 2025 to make things easier and to make things accountable for the both party, including the office bearer and the applicant as well. I will just go later into the slide. And the other one, that is the good thing, that is the felicitations by the different or uh, government, state government and the central government. So this is the innovation landscape. There are multiple segments in this one: innovation, motivations, passions, economics, protection, public at large. These are just few words, but this is the whole things then define the complete patent ecosystem. When we talk about the innovations, so I have already told earlier that innovation is not something that came into the lab suddenly. It's just an idea. So if we think in a different way, like when the people lives used to live in the stone ages, they used to live in normal life, they have nothing to do with this one. But as time goes by, the people start evolve, their requirement increases, and accordingly as per their requirement they just try to find out each and everything that makes their life comfortable, and then only the innovations things takes place. So accordingly, we move through the innovation. When this innovation takes place, right, it goes in a different form. So when innovation takes place, it needs a financing. But how can someone finance the innovation when they do not have the motivation? That's the second question. Then there is the passion. There are two different things. And for the motivation, they need something. You suppose that you are working in the laboratory and it needs a lot of equipment, a lot of things that need some financial support for this, for to protect to in, to maintain the motivation of the a stakeholder. Government has just put that particular what will you say, government has put that particular motivation in the form of a protection. How can I can explain on that, that if the suppose any organization has invested some amount of money to create some vaccine or any SCP or any technology that is related to 5 to 6G. So there is an investment on that once. So motivation is there. If they do something like that, so they are going to earn the money. It's their interest, it's the company interest. So if, and if they are just going to present that particular technology in the market, there is a possibility that some of the person skilled in the art, they are going to just copy it, right? They are just going to copy it and present themselves as a owner of that particular technology. This is the reason this IPR things comes into the picture all across the globe. The government has offered a protection things. You do your work. If you have done something in the technology that is beneficial for the public at large, right, we are going to protect your interest up to some certain time, not up to the infinite time. Certain time is essential. I'll just come to this line later. By protecting this technology, they just give the complete right to the inventor or the applicant, so that they could get benefited financially or other way that this seems fit. They complete the right of that particular technology, they present before the system, and they get benefited. This is the way that we protect the innovation through the motivation. Passion is equally important because without having a, you have the motivation but you do not have the passion, you cannot convert something into innovation. So passion is equally important. So sometimes motivation or passions go together to bring the innovation at uh, execution state. When IPR things has been done, the innovation, motivation, passion right now comes to the economics. That's the most important part that I have just aligned through the motivation. This is the things that gives the company to motivate. They put their money so that suppose that they are investing right now. So if the project getting succeeded, there is a possibility that project did not get succeed. It's not necessary. So if their project suppose they have just invented 10 project and there is one possibility of success of only one of them, then they compensate all of them together simultaneously to make their profit, and this way they the company, the applicant, maintain their economics, and accordingly they contribute to the government system as well, and finally it goes to the public as well. So technically it's a cycle. So the protection, the IPR protection is not simply on the paper. So start with the idea. Idea, whatever idea comes is come to the drafting, and then you put it in the lab. You go through this one. You take a protection right, and accordingly government put you a IPR protection of that particular. If you talk about the patent, then they give you the right of that particular segment, and if it's executed, you go for the licensing as well. Right now, there is another picture that is a very must to discuss. That is the public at large. So there is a possibility that you have invented something and government has given you a right. It's a regional right. Suppose that any organization have invented something, or any applicant, a startup or individual have invented something, so they get the right, but it's not universal. You have to go separately in the different region. If you have to do the business, you have to do commercialize your project in India, you have to file separately in India. India have a separate law, Germany has a separate laws. Likewise, the other country have a different law. You have to comply accordingly. You have to fall in the line to comply their act, not individual. In India, they have a different kind of IP patent act system. UA has a different kind of system. Brazil has a different kind of system. Yes, they have the similarity, but they have their own definition, they have their own segment, because they have their own diversity. So, whenever you go for that one, so this way, the government gives you, as per Indian context, if you file an application and if it's granted, so they give you a tenure of 20 years of patent right. After that, it goes to the public. It goes to the public since government has given you right, so that you do invent, to to get you motivated, so that you do good things for the well-being of the public at large. You have made the money in these 20 years if the applicant have the commercial viability. But since government has protected your right for that period, motivated you so long, right now the government believes that after that particular period, that particular technology must be used for the public without any royalty or anything. That will be in the public domain. Anyone who having the ability to convert that particular technology for their use, they can use it. Like in the pharma, we say like a generic drugs or something like. So generic drugs is not a simple. Some organization has invented 20 years back. Right now their right has been vanished since it's across 20 years, right? So that particular composition come into the public domain, and any organization who have the ability to manufacture the medicine with that particular composition and make a proper drugs, they can create a drugs, they can sell in the market. So they lost the original inventor lost their protection right, the IP after the after 20 years. This 20 years varies differently. If you take a priority claim, priority date, then it start with that one. If you do not take a priority date, then it start with the date of filing. Suppose that you file an application on the day of 9th of April 2026. You have not taken any priority. And applications process. After 5 years, suppose in any circumstances, generally it does not take so much time. But in any circumstances, the applications gets you granted after 3 years or 4 years. Right. So you get the right from the date of filing. It's not that whenever you have the application has been granted from that date. So anyone who is using in between as well, suppose that 9th April is the filing date, 9th April 2026, and application is granted in 2029 9th of April, right? So in this period, suppose any applicant use that particular technology without informing you, right? They will be responsible, they will be accountable to pay you accordingly as per your agreement. Otherwise the matter may move to the court for the infringement other things, since government has acknowledged that this technology belongs to you since you have filed already at that particular date. So these are the things that the government do to protect the interest of the inventor, applicant, and whoever it is involved in that one. But simultaneously they give you the protection, they take the technology back after the 20 years. This is the things that we that the government go accordingly. Right now when we talk about the public at large, there are another organizations comes into the picture, that is the competition commission. When you talk about the IP, the intellectual property gives you the monopoly of that particular segment up to that particular period, whereas the competition commission is completely against about it. So somehow government have the authority, government set up a body how to balance between those, because both are necessary. They have to set a things. No one has the monopoly for a particular technology, so that they can just put their view before everything, or they can control the medicine that no one can able or onto this one. So each country has a different competition commission authority across the globe, including the US, European Union organization, India itself, right? So this way, so IP, when you talk about the intellectual property, is to talk about the monopoly. They give the right to the particular organization. But when we talk about the competition commission, then they talk about no, they should liberalize it. That cannot control something that they have. Uh, means they can put pressure, or they can just blackmail for each and everything, right? So for that picture, the in at the latter state is comes the technology that is front in SCP and other things. It's a technological part that goes on and on. So these are the patent ecosystem, innovations, motivations, passions, economic protection, and public order. Each things are related. Whenever we break anything, suppose we break the motivation, we break the innovation. If we break the economics, we break the innovation. We break the protection, we break the innovation. So each and everything is somehow related, and each and everything must be chained accordingly to create a loop, so that a proper balance and functioning of the system goes accordingly, as for the benefit of the public at large. This is the innovation landscape that we have seen in the long period. India has a different what will you say a little different act in some section. EU has a different act in some section. US has a different, because they have their own problem, they have their own benefits. India has a different diversity, India has a different geopolitical system. So each and everything has somehow related. It's not that one application has to process in a different way, like the PCT. We will go to the different slide, and each and every country has to accept it, because they have to accept their diversity, their economics. If you talk about US, because it's financially they are stable. If you but you are talk about the globalist, like sorry, this one, the African country, they do not have such kind of support system, so they cannot directly copy from the US. So they have their own agenda. They have to protect their own right. Is all because they have just granted you that kind of immunity, that kind of protection for the benefit of their public. India has given the IPR right to the particular applicant, particular individual, so that they could work, they could innovate, so to give the benefit to the Indian people, right? Of course, it's a global village, so of course it will travel abroad accordingly. But this is the main thing, that the Indian patent system works. So each and everything is related. We cannot bypass one thing. If you bypass anything, the system will collapse. Collapse. We have to contain the IPR as well. We have to contain the uh, competition commission as well, because if you put everything as that's like a competition commission's theory, that no, everything should be liberalized, the motivation will break, the economics will break, so the innovation will break, so everything will have the dead end. So this is the core innovation landscape in this particular slide. We'll go to the next one. So how the patent journey starts in any patent office. It's not about the Indian patent office. First, you have some idea, right? When you have some idea, you have done some work. It's not like you have idea and you have just putting into the word. If you have idea, you have just worked it out. You have tried to work it out, maybe in the transition phase, right? But before you go for the filing a patent, there is a prior art search. That is the essential part. Prior art search give you the knowledge that whatever work you are doing, or you are about to file a patent, you are about to process the particular application, if such technology already exists and someone has already taken the right of that particular, in that scenario, if you process that particular application, the authority will find that you have just find a copycat kind of things, and the application may go into bad shape. So to avoid these things, the prior art search is an essential. Of course, there are various search engine in the public domain. There's a Google database. In fact, Indian patent office, they have just put in pass as well. USPTO has just given you the free access. EPO has given up the free access. Of course, there are some subscribe based agency as well. The application is the public domain, but they have special rights. So and they have their special tools to find out that particular technology exists or not, and if there exists, then what are the possibility of enhancement. This is the core part. This is the core part. You cannot simply say that you are trying to bring something new, the novel in terms of patent, right? It's simply you have to find the, it's a rare of rarest cases that you find something, you create something new. Mostly people do that, whatever the technology does exist, and we are trying to just enhance their efficiency, because nothing is perfect. Each and every day need an innovation to make it towards the perfection. Like we talk about the 5G or 6G, we start with the 2G, then go to the 3G. Already it existed before, but they needed some they had some boundary in that particular 2G segment. The invention continued take this place, and then go to the 3G, then accordingly 5G, and right now we are moving towards the 6G, because there are a lot of restriction in the 5G. So innovators, scientists, each one are working towards this one, how to mitigate the factor that are restricting in the 5G in the terms of data, in terms of the communication, and in terms of a lot of things, right? So that's the reason the 6G the concept arises, because there are restriction, of course, and there is a restriction in the 6G as well. Suppose that that will be in the surface in 2 to 3 years. So it's not that the 6G will be the perfect. There will be a restriction, but within time frame we are talking about the 6G only. And when we complete that particular a basic a problem, we solve a basic problem in that particular year, particular period, we will be able to launch a 6G, and then we'll move further that how to remove other the problem that have in the 6G. So this innovation takes place each and every day, each and every time, each and every second. Some of the people working in the organization in the different continent, they are working to make it better, and we are trying to reach towards the perfection. So this is the way that innovation takes place, and this is the patent journey. So idea, first of all, you have to idea something, you have to imagination. Imagine, until I do not have the problem, we are using the 5G, but we feel a lot of problems. Sometimes it's a data lag, sometimes it's a break. So how to solve this one? So when we find the problem, then we try to solve the problem. Then that's where the innovation takes place, that I told you, the inventiveness, how to increase. If you uh, each and everything is same in any circumstance. I'm talking about the patent terminology, each and everything is same, but you have just reduced the cost of the procedure. Technically, this is innovation. That's also innovation. If you have reduced the cost, you have reduced the timeline, you have reduced the lag. So this is also innovation. So you have to, each and every person is doing their own way to innovate something. Someone is trying to make things uh, reachable to each and everyone in a finance terms. Someone trying to reachable to each and everyone in a different the technology term, right? But if we add anything in this component, so definitely this adds an innovation, and this innovation needs a protection, and government is willing to do across the globe. So this is the thing, that the prior art search is essential if you really want to put a potential application, right? Now we go for the second step, that is the patentability assessment. We have found the prior art, okay, that things need an enhancement, that's okay. But you have to find the novelty, inventive step, and the section 3 4. There is an amendment in section 4 in the 2024 or 25. 24 and 25, there was some that is related with the section 4, that is related with the no technology related with the atomic energy will be granted. But they have Indian government has given a liberty, if that is used in the peaceful purpose, or just harnessing the energy and other things, they may take an exception. That's a big thing. It's not going to affect temporarily, but in the coming years that is going to change a lot of landscape in the patents ecosystem, because it's a nuclear energy. So government is reviewing each and every day, and trying to find out whatever suitable or whatever is the motive. These are the motivation factor. Suppose that initially the government was the primary player in the nuclear technology. Right now, the private player also is participating. So of course they need a protection. When they need a protection, they need to um, uh, innovate some reactor, so that it could work it out. It will not only for the government, it could be also for the private person as well. So they need a protection. That's the reason they have just given a liberty in the section 4, right? So if that can be used for a peaceful purpose, so that can also be considered for the IPR protection as well. Since I have already mentioned you before, 21J, that is Indian Patent Act for the novelty section, and 21JA for the inventive section. That is the crucial part when you file a patent application. Novelty is the rarest of rare, that you find something completely new. Technically, we do work for the enhancement of the technology. Anything, whatever existing, we are just going to add up in any terms, right? So this way we evaluate the novelty and inventiveness. through the prior art search and other tools that is available for the use, right? After having so much assessment, prior art search idea, now it's come to the drafting. The drafting part is the most important part. It's a simply you can say whatever you draft, and that particular word and the way that you draft, only that particular draft define your application, that if that application is getting grant or not. This is the real crux. In a simple layman language, if I say so, that since it's a quasi judicial thing, right? So someone having a issue in the court matter, so whatever applicant draft in the filing report, that will be considered as the basic fact. You cannot amend on that after filing a report in the court. You cannot add anything after that. The fact will be the same, that will be additional for the elaboration. In the court system also work in the same way. The patent system also work in the same way. Whatever the content you are drafting, that will be final one. If you put a complete specification, the scope is defined. You have defined the content. You cannot go beyond that particular scope. You have to follow that particular boundary or restriction. And after drafting of the complete specification, the drafting of the claim, that is a part of the complete specification. So on the basis of that particular specification that applicant has drafted, the claim is derived from that particular draft, and it should have a defined scope. If the scope is not defined in the primary filing, just remember in the primary filing, because whatever the applicant or the attorney or other one do, they generally change the scope of the invention when they amend the application. You are allowed to amend, but just for the elaboration purpose. If you are adding anything substantial that is going to change the scope of the invention, that application will fall under section 57 and 59. That completely denies you to change the scope of the invention, and then accordingly the application takes in a bad shape. So these are the things when you draft the application, draw the drawing, put a abstract, claim, each and everything is a process of the drafting things, right? After filing, the draft has been prepared, right? So it goes for the drafting, sorry, filing. You have filed, and after some times, as per the timeline set by the different or country, right? The first examination reports has been published by the authority. They may raise an objection, they may not raise an objection, right? So after issuing this objection, the applicant try to overcome this objection by replying that if there is an amendment without changing the scope of the invention, they put a submission, right? And then if everything is accordance with the law, authority feels in that way, the process for the grant. But if the authority feels that it is not process suitable from the grant, they need an additional opportunity. They put for the hearing for the sake of natural justice. They offer you to present you before and ask you to explain each and everything, how your invention differs from the cited prior art, which the cited prior art means the authority or the patent office have added that cited that particular prior art from the public domain, that somehow this application is similar to that particular application. So you get a final opportunity to differentiate that particular things, how it differs from the this one. And when you are able to convince the controller that this application has done some work, this is changing the scope, sorry, changing the landscape of anything, so pricing things, advancement things, anything, right? And then Accordingly, it goes for the grant. And if they do not file on suitable as per the act, then the controller takes the decision accordingly. So, so these are the process of the patent journey. First of idea, then prior art search, patentability assessment, drafting patent specification, filing and prosecution. If it's a grant, right? So after the grant, you go for the licensing, the commercialization part. And after the commercialization, then it's a different thing. But this all thing start with the ideation. Now, the other one, the examination to the grant. These are things when you file the application, you have filed the application. That is completely confidential to the office. They have to accept that. You have to understand these things. When you file the application, it's completely confidential until unless you go to the public, right? But for the publication, you have to file a some file a form through normal through the section 11A or for the 9 if you have to go for the expedited process. It takes if you go through the normal publication procedure, it may take 18 months. It is not necessary that it takes 18 months, but there is a timeline. It may take 18 months. It could be a 1 month, it could be 18 months, right? But if you go from the farm 9, this is expedited process. The government has put a certain price and certain segment in this one, that one who can file the form 9 and who can go for the expedited process, right? So that if you go for the form 9 process through the expedited process, that application published within 1 month, that could be 1 week or that could be 30 days. So these are the publication process. When you file the application, it goes for the publication. When it's published, the application is in the public domain. You can fetch the data from the website. Anyone can fetch the data from the website. Now it's available to anyone. So whatever the invention that you have claimed, your protection, you got protected from the date of filing, or if you have claimed the priority from the date of priority. These are the things that works in the patent, all the patent office across the globe. After having a publication things, you file a request for examination. You have to file that. Certain fees there through certain form, right? You have to file form 8, 18 or 18A. If you have to go for the expedited, then 18A, otherwise form 8, sorry, 18, right? Initially it used to be the 48 months from the priority date or from the date of filing, whichever you choose, either of them. But in 2024 or 2025 amendment, it is reduced from 48 months to 31 months for the request for examination. If you have just lost that particular date, right, your applications has been abandoned. So you have to take care of the timeline accordingly. That if you have filed the application before this one, so before crossing the 31 month, you must file the request for examination so that it will go for the examination process through the examiner and controller, and then the proper communication start to you through the patent office. So accordingly, I have already mentioned this is the amendment process. This is examination for startups, women applicants, that is also applicable without having additional charges. There is an amendment in 2024. And when FER response has been generated by the authority that I have mentioned, that they examine, they find if there is an objection on that one, if they find any document, they go through. You also search a prior art, you find a suitable prior art that if is your invention is infringing any other application or not. Similarly, the authority also do the same. They have their own search engine as well. They have their own method as well to try to find out that if the application is infringing something or not. By doing this, they just if they find out anything that is related with that one, they that could be a paper as well, the conference paper. That could be a granted application. That could be a published application. That not society that is granted, but that's it is in the public domain. So they cite you accordingly and they ask you to go for the reply, and accordingly you prepare a reply on that one, put a proper submission to counter the objection raised by the office, and this process goes on until it's finally disposed, and disposed means it could be grant or refused accordingly, uh, as the official seems fit as per the act, right? So these are initially it used to be the 12-month timeline for the FER response, but in 2024 amendment they have reduced to 6 months. So you have to file within the 6 months time FER response, and upon the satisfactory compliances, application controller seems if the controller is satisfied, they proceed for the grant and give you a right of 20 years for that particular technology. The other slide, this carry on the types of applicant. There are multiple types of applicant in this one. We mentioned this three. This is the ordinary application, conventional application, PCT national phase entry. The ordinary application is filed by Indian Patent Office through claiming any priority only from the India itself. So you have to just file in India through the normal channel, right? And it will go through the ordinary application, and no foreign filing required through this one. When you mention that since you have chosen the ordinary application, means when you have chosen ordinary application, that is you do not have to file form 3, you do not have a prior filing details on that one. So technically it starts by clicking on ordinary application itself, and you go for form 18 request for the request of examination for purely domestic invention, right? So mostly the individual and the startup goes through this particular application, ordinary application. The second one is the convention application. There is agreement between India and some country including the United States that they can file through that if they use that particular convention this agreement. So there will be a protection, different kind of protection. Suppose in India, in US, some applicant has filed there and they want to file in India as well. So they need a to file if they choose the convention application. They want to route through the convention application. They have to file in India within 12 months of time period of the filing of that particular application, or the priority date that they have claimed in the United States, right? So this way, and when they file in India, they can claim the priority of that particular application that is claimed in the United States itself. So this way, this is the agreement between the countries, multiple signatory in this alliance. And the third one, that is the most important part, that is the PCT national phase entry. India is one of the receiving office of the PCT. Initially, it was not, but I think 7 to 8 years back, India has been received acknowledged as the receiving office of the PCT national phase entry. You can choose India as a PCT entry office on that one, and they have a separate wing. They go for the examination, they publish an international search report, and accordingly process to the next course of action. So these are mainly the three types of application in the patent: ordinary application, convention application, PCT national phase entry. Now, there are amendments that we have already mentioned. That is the 2024 amendment. It's a pre-grant opposition. There is one amendment that is a pre-grant opposition. Initially, what was that? It's a pre-grant opposition. Anyone, any can file without uh, without any cost. Means government was not charging for anything, because people used to believe that the authority has, sorry, the government of India has a thinking that if any skilled person or anyone believes that that technology is getting if it's granted, it's going to affect the public at large, so they can file the application and they can just go for it. So that's the reason they were not charging for that one. But in the coming year, the lot of misuse takes place for that particular pre-grant things. So there were amendment on that one. Pre-grant opposition is still there, where they have charged a particular amount for that particular filing. So if the applicant is really serious, the opponent, who is going for the pre-grant, they are serious and they really believe that that particular technology is going to affect if it's granted to the public at large. So they can go for this one. So they have a different fee schedule for individual startups and the different organization. But it's not free. Means you have to put a certain amount of money as a government fee. Then only you can file a pre-grant opposition. Similarly, the Form 3 timeline has been reduced to 3 months. The divisional application, there were more important amendment in the divisional application. Initially, the section 10.5. 10.5 was the unity of invention. Initially, the office has the practice to do until unless the office claim that in the first examination report of the parent application, if they did not find out that the application, the claim that you have put it through, that belongs to multiple invention in one category. In that scenario, there is an objection under section 10.5, and then the applicant used to divide that particular invention in a multiple segment and file uh, independently with that particular specification itself. The specification will be the same, but the different application through the different technology. But in 2024 amendment, they have just amended accordingly so that it's not necessary that the official has to point it out that these applications have a multiple invention kind of things. If you believe that, you can file it, and accordingly the office will judge you. Right. Similar, I have mentioned you this Section 4 amendment as Atomic Energy Act. Inventions related to atomic nuclear energy falling within subsection 1 of section 20 of the Atomic Energy Act were considered not patentable, which now permits limited patenting of nuclear energy invention for peaceful usage subjected to a stringent safeguard under the Sustainable Harnessing and Advancement of Nuclear Energy for Transforming India Act 2025. This is the big reform. It's not going to affect immediately, but in coming decade, it is going to change a lot of things, of course, in a positive way. And the second amendment, that is decriminalization and adjudication. So initially, there were something that that the false information in IP section that is related with they have just criminalization thing. So they have just converted into some civil monetary penalty. This is also a good initiative by the government. So these are the amendment goes each and every times when the authority and the government find that is suitable. Right now is amend the applications. These things goes on, and this will goes on continuously in the coming years as well as the system refine itself. So these are the few major amendments takes place in 2024 and 2025. Now we come to the felicitation. So a lot of schemes that is provided by the government of India and the state government to motivate the inventor startups to do their work and to the innovation, so that in the financial term, in a certification terms. So these are the few felicitations things takes place by the few of them are the DPIIT. This is the National Intellectual Property IP Award, right? It's, one thing has been done, and the second one is the DST Patent Facilitation Program (PFP), a scheme for facilitating a startup intellectual property protection program. In this protection, they offer you a kind of rebate on fees, like a normal fee. As we come to the this one on the latter stage, but how they have reduced the fees of the startup and the individual just to motivate them. Whatever the normal fee for the normal organization, and whatever be the other fee for the startup, if they are still entitled to take the claim of that one, if they belong in that particular category. So these are the few things. That's the state level felicitation and reimbursement scheme. That is the main. The Karnataka have a different kind of that I have mentioned, that up to 2 lakhs if it's granted, right? 10 lakhs for foreign reimbursement and 70% filing on rent or rest on grant. So these are the things that have been provided by the different state for their resident, Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and each and every one state, providing as per their own and own policy. We go for this one. These are the essential forms: Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. There are multiple forms, but these are the essential. We put when you file the application, the Form 1 put all the details on that one. Who is the applicant? Who is the inventor? If they have given a right or not. So each and every detail is there. What is the title of inventions? It's the basic things summarized in Form 1, right? So there you have to file along with the filing of the application. And Form 2 is the complete specification. Whatever you go for that one, whatever the content and whatever the subject matter of that particular application, that belongs to the Form 2. Similarly, it's a Form 3. Form 3 is about if you have any international or foreign filing, then you just put to the office as the new time period is within 3 months. If it's a convention and PCT filing for ordinary, of course it's not. But if you have filed, suppose if you have filed filing in India and after that you have filed some other places as well, then you must submit that particular Form 3 within that time period. Otherwise, if they find any irregularity, they put you know, uh, you have to go through for a petition to comply the irregularity. So these are the PCT overview on that one. So what are the benefit of the PCT? There are multiple countries that is a part of this ecosystem, that more than 150 countries there. And what are the benefit of the PCT? That's the most important part. Single application, you can just go through the single application, single specification, single set of claims. You can go across the globe, right? Since that has been granted, you take the benefit of the priority of that particular benefit of the protection from that particular date. It's a 31 months to decide that. Suppose that you file in India today, you take, if you think that it may take time, you are not confident about the market commercial about that particular technology, you can wait up to 2.5 years, and up to 3 months. And if you find out no, it has a potential to the different uh, region as well, then before crossing the 31st month, you can just go and file that particular application, and you can get a protection from the date as well, the date from the priority, whatever you have taken in the filing country. So these are the major things. That is the PCT. There's a lot of things on that one. It reduces the administrative burden as well. The commercial potential is literally clear. You get ISR report, and with the ISR report, you find out that what are the possibility of grant in that particular application in the segment. So these are the things of the PCT overview. India, as I have already mentioned, India is the receiving office of the IPO. You can choose India as a PCT application. Here, accordingly that application will be processed. The ISR report will be published, right? And if thing is processed, and if you want to process, go for the request of examination, then you can route it through accordingly in India and across the globe. But yes, if you have choose the PCG route, they have a different fee structure, of course, higher than the ordinary application. So as per the potential, the startup and other office find out that depending upon their potential, they choose the ordinary application or the PCT application. So these are the things that is related with the PCT. And the two things that is more important, that is the pre-grant opposition and the post-grant opposition. Application is not granted, you can just file any time that you feel that that's up. If the application is granted, so that is that is infringing your technology, first thing, or that is going to that is against the public interest, right? In any circumstances, anyone can file. First of all, remember, anyone can file. It is not necessary, but yes, you have to pay for that one. Initially it was feel less. But right now, yes, anyone can go for this one. So if you feel that this technology is going to hamper the public interest, or any organization believes that this technology is going to hamper their interest because somehow they are infringing their subject matter, they go for the pre-grant opposition. Similarly, is a post-grant opposition. Suppose that application has been granted and you have missed the opportunity to present before the official, before the timeline, and application has been processed. The office itself offered you 12-month time period after the grant, that you have to present your case before, and accordingly goes for the process of that particular things. So these are the things that is the part of the patent ecosystem: pre-grant opposition, post-grant oppositions. It's the patent prosecution's timeline. If you say so, the filing, if you filed 18 months, it's normal filing. It takes 18 months for the publication that I have already mentioned. If you want to expedite the process, you can go through the Form 9. In 2024 amendment, women has been included in that particular category. So if there are women in that particular inventor list, anyone, it is not necessarily all of them, but anyone, there is five inventor, one of them is the woman, they can claim that particular benefit on that one for the startup, like a facility in the fee section. So this was the big amendment to motivate the women inventor as well to do the work, and for the public good. And secondly, thus yes, the examination part, we go for Form 18. This is a 31 month window, and accordingly, since it has been amended in the 2024-2025 from the 48 month to 31 month that I have already mentioned before. There are common pitfalls in the filing process. This is the important part. Deadline is equal too much important. Most of the time, especially a startup, when there are attorney are filing, they are aware of that one. But when you are filing an individual as a startup, you lack that particular things. So just keep in mind, timeline is equally important. You cannot, because it's, everything is digital, everything is automated. If you cross a day one, you just miss the deadline and your application gets abandoned accordingly. So you have to follow the timeline whatever is described by the patent act. So that's the important part. The second, when you go for the drafting, the disclosure is important. Whatever said, most of the time the applicant feels insecure that this is a technology, if I am sharing to someone and he is drafting, someone is going to copy it, you are not going to share all the details who is going to draft the application. So that's put you in the different position, because sufficiency of disclosure is equally important in the patent ecosystem. You have to put a certain disclosure so that the person skilled in the art, in the patent fraternity, we say it as a PCTA, patent person skilled in the art, right? Whoever it is able to define that particular invention and able to use it. It's not a purpose for that moment, but when technology got outdated, means after 20 years, when that go to the public domain, that is for that's the reason the government asks you to submit that sufficiency of disclosure. So after 20 years, any person who is having the ability to read and define that particular technology, they can go without your help, right? So this is the important part and a crucial part. When you put a submission, you have to put particular disclosure accordingly. Of course, whatever the con- content that you have to hide, that you hide, but it should be minimum, so that it's person can find out that how it can be derived that particular technology from that particular specification itself. So it's equally important. The second one, that is the improper claim scope and FER response failure. that I have mentioned, the FER response, this is within 6 months' time. You have to submit that particular response if when you receive that FER. So you have to comply accordingly. Do not miss the timeline. And it's a claim of scope amendment. That's the always I have mentioned that whatever a scope you have mentioned in the first submission of the claim, a scope has been defined at that time. Whatever amendment you do after that particular filing, you cannot change the scope. If you change the scope, if you bring some content from the specification and is changing the scope, then also it's not patentable. Just remember, you cannot say that it's already in the specification. In the specification there can be multiple claim that you can file like a divisional application, but since you are claiming one invention, one application for one invention, you cannot claim multiple invention in one application. Of course you may have one complete specification, but invention must be one. So if you add something from the complete specification as well and it's going to change the scope, then also it is not permitted by the app. So just do remember that it's just a very tricky thing. So when you amend accordingly, amend accordingly to just elaborate the things, right? There are the few things that I have mentioned, that how it has government has put reduction so startups for the startups they have a different kind of fee. For the natural person, of course, they have the similar fees, and these are the things. Suppose for the large organization say 60,000, and for the startup it's 8,000, and the women as well for the 8,000. So it's a big difference for this one. So government is trying to uh, motivate the startup ecosystem for the innovation that you do, and we are here for you. And there are other scheme as well. So whatever you do file, they are also compensated through the different strategy. But yes, you have to do some innovation, and if they find suitable accordingly, so of course they are going to compensate in different way. So that's all. Thank you very much. These are the basic filing of this things thing of the patent ecosystem.
Thank you. Uh, Really, it's very informative. So let us come to the question part. So you can just see that there is a public chat. Okay. So under the public chat, you will find certain questions like Mr. Prasanna Kumar. He is asking that he has a doubt on cast selecting a feature, and like a bit rate is increased and increase in spectral depth 3 times. So I think this is a more technical. I don't know whether you will be um, answer to this Prasanna Kumar. And but Suja from C dot, she has also put some questions. So if you just say that you can uh, explain this, otherwise I can invite all to write us, and in that case we will give them the reply duly vetted by you. So if you feel, then you can this one, or anyone can even raise the hand as well. Please see public chat.
Yes, Suja had mentioned that if our competitor has a similar feature and product that we have a patent on, what are the methods by which we can find out if they have used our patented idea? Look, there are a simple philosophy, and this one, whoever has put a documented version before the office, so office find it suitable for them. You have to proof a lot of things that you are using, how you are using. Is very tricky things. But if any person, suppose the two person have been working on the same things and on the same project, and one person's find that something like that, and just put a idea, put a application before the patent office, so technically of course they will get benefited. So you have to uh, be very careful about your patent things, about your technology. So simply you cannot say that no, no, I was not aware. In fact, in the Supreme Court also mentioned, if you believe that that is your thing, so you should be aware of that one. We are not here to protect you all the times. So if you believe that you and some other are working, so there is other provision as well. If you are working on something and that is in the transition period, the application has been not the technology has been not matured yet, you can go for the provisional applications. You can just go for this one. You can filing a provision application. You have an idea. You filing a provision application. You get the right of that particular things from that particular date. So on that way, you can just protect yourself being theft by some other competitor or.
Thank you. Ms. Dr. Sailendra Misra, please, you can speak now.
Uh, okay, thank you, sir, for nice information. Sir, my question is that means I am bound with the means confidentiality compliances with the funding agencies for with the by doing the MOU, and our university is having the registered attorney generals uh, to get the patent. So if I want to file a patent, uh, means the funding agency as well as university both should be the patentee in that patent or not. In what is
Uh,
the
Yes, Mr. Silent, I just got your question. First of all, you are the inventor, right?
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so whoever is the filing, that will be the applicant, and you just give them right. So simply, they do not claim. There are some clause on that when the proof of a right, the assignment means any suppose any organization. I'm just talking about the Intel is the organization, but in Intel is not just any human being or something like Intel means a lot of employees that work in the Intel, right? So they just work for the Intel, they just give the right to the Intel, and then Intel file the application as an applicant. The similar things happens in your university. You provide a right to the university, or during that joining you might have signed a document that says that in that particular period whatever work you do that belongs to that university. In that scenario, of course, whatever you do, right, in with their time, right, that belongs to that particular applicant. You can't do anything about this one. If you have the separate things, you can go for the separate. So of course they have their right.
okay. So means I will work as an inventor and my university and the funding agency both will be the patentee in a single
No,
patent.
no. It's a single patent. You will be the inventor, and whoever is the applicant. If your funding agency is participating as an applicant, so definitely yes, they will be the applicant as well. But suppose funding agency have a different MOU with the universities or with you, right? So it is not necessary the funding agency will be the what will you say? Mm,
Patentee.
patentee. Yes, whoever is the filing the application is depending upon
So
your MOU.
yeah, sir, in MOU, the funding agency is saying that means they will pay the fee for the patent. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And sometimes means there will be some tricky thing means maybe I not get the fund for the patent, or my university is saying that means they will give the money if the university will be patentee in that patent. It is the scenario. And meanwhile I have to do the collaboration with this one of the industry also. So I have to do the NDA, non-disclosure agreement with them, and uh, do the to get the some prototype, final prototype for the industrial product. So this is my scenario, means I am ready with my IDF, but I'm stuck with this all these legal things because lots of things are confusing for me.
No,
So
Mr. Saland, you have to think about this one. First of all, when you have signed a MOU, right? When suppose
yeah.
that you are associated with one of our organizations, you will have to read it out. What are your terms
Yeah.
and condition? In that one,
Mhm.
there is a particular segment. If you talk about university, that whatever belongs to that particular employer, right? So if there will be an IP clause, right? Whatever the IP clause says, that you will have to read it out first. You are getting fund from the different agency, right? What are the terms and condition? And if you have to find out that you are getting directly the fund from that funding agency, or the university is getting fund from that funding agency. There are
Okay.
complex scenario. No one can simply say you, because it's all about the MOU. You have to read it out carefully. You will have to scrutinize carefully, and then you can only go for that one. So unless someone finds out what are in the MOU, no one can say that these things belongs to you. But yes, as per the guidelines, if someone is funding you, right, for that particular project, right, and they have a documented version of that one, right, so that things belongs to them, not to you. You will be the inventor in any scenario, because in amendment they have the Indian government added one clause on that one, that you can claim. Initially it used to be issue a LOP, letter of patent, but right now they are issuing a inventor certificate as well. In that particular technology, you are the inventor, you are also the inventor, or you are the inventor, right? So you will get a certificate on that one.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So
yes,
I just
since
want, sir, I just want to clarify one thing. Means from as per the MOU, I'm very clear that means the fund should be given by the funding agency for the patent. It is
Mhm,
written in the MOU. Okay.
mhm.
But if I have to
This
submit the IDF,
Saran,
then
so I'd like to stop this one. So the MOU between you or the funding agency, or the university and the funding agency?
university and the funding agency.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And one thing, I'm having my IDF now. I have to give this to a patent attorney. Okay, and that
Hmm.
patent attorney is registered with our university. So
Hmm.
should I take the permission from the funding agency, or the funding agency will give the patent attorney to me to submit that IDF?
No, I don't think that you can do anything. You just there is a procedure, I think, or
Mhm. Yes, sir.
our
That
learned
procedure
people
I
here.
just want to know.
Yeah, yeah. This is a different procedure. They all the
Yes,
organization has a
Sailesh,
different
I
one.
think, Sailesh, this we can discuss. So please write to me, and we will just discuss it. Anyone
Okay,
else?
sir.
Yeah, Aditya, Aditya Gupta. Mr. Aditya, mute, unmute yourself. Aditya, we are unable to. Perhaps I think you have to rejoin the voice part. Aditya, we could not hear you. Anyone else? Prasanna, he's saying that he wants to discuss about his doubt. Perhaps I think it's too technical. So if you just describe us, we'll try to get this answer, because there are certain things like efficiency and all those things. I don't know whether because there is some technical examination will be required. So please explain your this one in and write to us in the form of problem statement, and then we will get the views of Sri Gopal Kumar ji. Uh, Anyone else have any doubt? Any question? Mr. Aditya Gupta, we are unable to. Uh, Sir, I think we don't have the question. Sir, David sir, do you have anything?
No, sir, just would like to thank Sri Gopal Kumar ji for the excellent presentation. Thank you for sharing this in knowledge with us, and it
Thank you,
is,
sir.
I'm sure it's very beneficial to all the people who have attended. Uh,
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very
Thank you.
much, Mr.
Thank you.
Pathak.
Mr.
Astha, would you
Pathak,
like
I
to say?
wanted, Mr. Pathak, I wanted to thank you, David and Gopalji for this wonderful presentation. Thank you very
Thanks, sir.
much.
And this will be shared to you all, and it's already available on our website as well. Astha,
Yes, so thank you for providing me this opportunity. I would like to propose vote of thanks for today's insightful 6G leadership tech talk on the topic turning 5G, 6G ideas into protected innovation. And And I would really thank the speaker for today, that is Shri Gopal Kumar ji, for delivering such a compelling and thought-provoking session. You have provided immense value, and especially at a time when the global 6G ecosystem is rapidly evolving. There were many questions from the participants which they wanted to learn about, because the legal system is complex and how to navigate it is require help from experts like you. I will also thank our participants for today for joining us and making this effort fruitful. Thank you, everyone, to the organizing team at Bharat 6G Alliance, and
I
looking
request
forward for
Swapnil and Faisal also to be online, my team. They should also come. Swapnil, Astha, Faisal, it appears that they are unable to come in the frame. So, if not, then thank you all. Thank you, and it's a great pleasure for us to host this.
Thank
And again, maybe each Thursday we try to bring someone for doing this work. And thank you, Gopal sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me at this platform. It's lovely interacting with all of you gentlemen with so much experience. It's a lot to learn from me. I am just a tiny things in this ecosystem, and really, I would love to, learn all, all things. At least, few things. If it's not all, then of course it's few things. It's a really pleasure to have you all here. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.